Good morning, I'm Maddie Jansen, and this is the podcast of 17 News at Sunrise. It's everything you need to know to start your day in about 15 minutes.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning. Shafter City Council members take up the issue of adding the motto, "In God We Trust," to city police cars. The decision, and we'll tell you which city is next expected to take up the controversial issue.
A driver plows into a pedestrian and then takes off, leaving the man with critical injuries and police on the hunt for whoever did it. They're asking for your help this morning.
PG&E settles up with 14 California cities and counties, many of which were decimated by wildfires caused by faulty equipment. How much the company is expected to pay on this Wednesday, June 19th, 2019. Good morning, 5 a.m. Good to have you with us. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher and Kevin Charette.
And start hydrating early because it is going to be another hot day. I've got my water.
You got water in your
coffee cup? Yeah.
No coffee. Yeah, definitely going to be another warm day. We had 100 yesterday, so we chalk another one on the board for the month of June, getting closer to the number of triple-digit days we saw last year, which was 8. Now we're at 7.
Oh.
So, yeah. And
I think we're going to make it.
Yeah, I think we're going to make it. So
7 counting today or not?
No, 7 counting yesterday.
Because if you remember, I think it was last year, the 4th of July, I remember being very pleasant.
I'll have to look at the exact
temperature. I remember it being very comfortable.
I can barely remember yesterday, let alone a year ago. That's why that's why we keep the data sheets. But today, right near 102.
Okay.
Yesterday, we didn't get to 102. We got to 100. But today, we should be right near 102 degrees. And here's a look at the high, 100. And our record yesterday was actually 106, set back in 1945. So we're 6 degrees off that. But yeah, definitely a warm day out there. 79 degrees right now. As I came in, we were at 80. No winds to talk about right now. And we will be near 80 by 7 a.m. 96 at noon. And then by 3 o'clock, we're looking at 102 and a northwest wind at 5. Into the mountains, you're at 63 degrees right now. Nice and comfortable. A west-northwest wind at 3. And as we take a look at the day, starting out near 64 and then upper 80s this afternoon. By 3 o'clock, we'll look for that westerly wind at 13. We'll talk much more about your weather in just a little bit. But first, we want to see how the morning commute's going nice and early. We'll send that over to Alex.
All right, thanks so much, Kevin, taking you outside for the first time this morning. This is the 99 near White Lane, and it's looking pretty clear on that side of town. Everything else around the county is also looking pretty good for the most part to start off your Wednesday morning. We'll have another check coming up in about 15 minutes.
And we begin this morning with breaking news from overnight. The search for the driver who hit a man, leaving him badly hurt, then took off. Bakersfield police say the hit-and-run crash happened just before 1 this morning on South Chester Avenue near LaFrance Drive. When officers arrived, they found the man suffering from serious injuries. Paramedics rushed him to the hospital where he is in critical condition this morning. BPD says the man was crossing the road in an unmarked crosswalk when the driver hit him. Officers are searching for the car and driver involved in the crash. They believe it's a 2016-2017 Honda Civic, but they don't know the color. Anyone with information is asked to call BPD at 327-7111.
5:03 now, and he says he made America great again. Now he wants to keep America great.
And that is why tonight I stand before you to officially launch my campaign for a second term as President of the United States. Thank you.
President Trump kicked off his re-election bid last night in the critical battleground state of Florida, and he debuted a new campaign slogan, "Keep America Great." The president claimed to supporters that he's been, in his words, under siege by investigation since day one of his administration. But he also claimed a series of policy achievements, including on military strength, job creation, and putting America first on issues like trade.
We're going to keep on fighting for every man and woman and child all across this land. With every ounce of heart and might and sweat and soul, we're going to keep making America great again. And then we will indeed keep America great. We will keep it so great. Better than ever before. We're going to keep it better than ever before.
His announcement comes a week before 20 Democratic presidential hopefuls take the stage for their first debate.
Meanwhile, the Trump administration plans to move forward after announcing ICE will deport millions of people starting next week. Reports of a plan targeting immigrant families has circulated in Washington for months. A Trump administration official said there are more than 1 million immigrants the courts have ordered be deported, but are still in the U.S. Democrats call the plan inhumane and unrealistic. The local chapter of the United Farm Workers Foundation says it is focused on making sure people know their rights.
This is a time to empower our communities. A lot of times they get afraid, but most of the time when they're afraid is because they don't know what to do. We here at the foundation already have material that we're going to be passing out. We have actually the red cards, which talk about know your rights. Everyone has a right, even you're undocumented or documented, we all have rights in the United States.
The UFW says anyone with questions or concerns can contact their office.
Corrections officers at a Central Valley State prison are now investigating an attack on an inmate months ago as a homicide. Kern Valley State prison officials say back in March, convicted murderer Eric Morales attacked his cellmate Ryan Galindo. The attack left Galindo with severe head trauma. Officials were forced to take him to an outside hospital, then a long-term care facility. That's where he died yesterday, 3 months after the attack. Galindo was serving a 6-year sentence for being a felon in possession of a firearm. The investigation into his death is ongoing.
5:06 now. It's a trend spreading quickly across Kern County communities. The Shafter City Council is the latest to join several other cities in approving the addition of decals with the phrase "In God We Trust" to police cars. 17's Kara Waugh was at the meeting where the decision was made.
First Delano, then Bakersfield, and now Shafter. There's no doubt this movement is spreading like wildfire.
Councilmember Gibbons?
Aye.
Lopez?
Yes.
Garcia?
Yes.
Prout? Yes. And Alvarado?
Yes.
At a city council meeting where the motto is already on the wall, a unanimous vote to put "In God We Trust" decals on Shafter police cars.
This is a heavy decision, but it's also historic.
The majority of attendees celebrated the decision. A local business owner even offered to make the decals for free.
It will be at no cost to the city at all.
Supporters argued, it's our national motto. It's patriotic. But the pushback?
Just because it's a tradition doesn't make it right, or we should keep it. That's a poor argument. I reject it.
Opponents believe this is a decision the government should remain neutral on.
And I know that the wonderful people of Shafter, they don't need the government to tell them that they trust in God.
Shafter resident Esteban Ramirez believes the phrase promotes exclusion more than it does peace. But regardless of those who agree or disagree,
There are a number of things that no one's going to like everything about a country.
One prediction is clear.
It's going to spread all over the South Central Valley.
Tonight, Ridgecrest City Council will also be discussing this issue. Their meeting starts at 6 p.m. at 100 West California Avenue. I'm Karen Hua, 17 News.
Arvin Police Chief Scott Kimball told 17 News he has heard their city council will soon discuss the issue of adding "In God We Trust" decals to its police cars. We'll be keeping a close eye on the city council agenda, and we will let you know if the city council does take up the issue.
5:08 now, and PG&E has agreed to pay up in the wake of a series of deadly wildfires. The utility giant is blamed for sparking several fires, including the deadly Camp Fire last fall. So PG&E and 14 local governments settled, and the company will pay $1 billion in taxpayer losses. The fires include a 2015 fire in Butte County, a series of fires in Northern California in 2017, and the Camp Fire that obliterated the town of Paradise. A judge still has to approve the settlement before it becomes final. PG&E filed for bankruptcy earlier this year because of billions in anticipated losses from lawsuits stemming from those wildfires.
Now, a local woman's keeping her mother's memory alive through acts of kindness.
It's called the Kathy Lynn's Kindness Project, and Mary Kate Paquette joins us this morning with more on what this project is all about. Good morning, Mary Kate.
Good morning. That's right. Kathy Lynn Stewart was a longtime nurse here in Kern County. She passed away about 3 years ago. Now her daughter is working to keep her memory alive.
How are you? I am wonderful.
This is April Stewart. She started Kathy Lynn's Kindness Projects in honor of her mom.
It's not, anything big, but just small tokens of appreciation because that was how my mom was.
Stewart's mom, Kathy Lynn Stewart, was a nurse for more than 20 years.
She was always giving gifts, always being kind, always doing things for others, and I feel like this is a way that I can help keep her memory alive and also spread kindness the way she did.
In 2016, she died after suffering complications from a stroke. Now Stewart is doing acts of kindness to honor her by honoring caretakers across Kern. From Smith's smiley face cookies for staff at Optimal Hospice Care to showing appreciation to special education teachers. Last week, she honored CNAs, certified nursing assistants, during CNA Appreciation Week.
It's lifesavers, and it says you are a lifesaver because they are. I feel like they are the lifesavers, with the nurses.
From her own experiences in the hospital throughout her life battling spina bifida to learning from her mom day in and day out. Those who help others hold a special place in Stewart's heart.
They do many great things, and they deserve, recognition for such an important job. I feel like I'm honoring her by doing this.
April does kindness projects every few months, and if you would like to be a part of them, you can find her on Facebook at Kathy Lynn's Kindness Projects.
What a great way to keep her legacy alive.
Yeah,
I love it.
They're just little things, but
they make a difference.
It makes people smile, makes their day. So
that's awesome. Thanks, Mary Kate.
5:23
now, Business Watch. The stock market's surging this week, and the Federal Reserve could give it another boost today. The Fed is set to announce today whether it will cut interest rates. 2 weeks ago, Fed Chair Jerome Powell set off a market rally when he signaled the central bank is willing to cut interest rates. Some investors are betting the central bank is headed for its first interest rate cut in over a decade. Others believe the Fed's laying the groundwork for a rate cut in July or September. Charitable donations are taking a hit thanks to the new tax law. Giving USA says Americans gave less to charity in 2018 compared to the previous year. Charitable giving by individuals dropped 3.4%, but giving by foundations and corporations increased. Economic experts say the new tax law reduced incentives to donate for many households. Among the top charitable causes Americans supported, religion and education, though both were down in contributions. The only categories that saw an increase in international affairs and environmental and animal organizations. It's something we all need to think about, but not enough of us do. The U.S. Department of Labor says just 44% of the 63 million working women in the United States have a retirement plan. If you're one of the 64% of working women not in a plan, money expert Stacey Johnson says you should be, and shares some retirement planning tips for women.
Planning for your golden years is essential for everyone, but especially women. Living longer than men is one reason why. And according to the Department of Labor, women are more likely to work in part-time jobs that don't offer retirement benefits and more likely to leave the workforce to care for family members. So add it up, and you've got a longer retirement and less money to fund it. There are some tips, though, that can help women save for retirement. Step 1, think it through. When are you going to retire? What will you do in retirement? How much money will you need to do that? There are calculators online that can help you decide these issues. Step 2, assess your situation. What's your current debt? How about your savings? If you're like most people, you're going to find a gap between what you have and what you need. So step 3 is to figure out how you're going to close that gap. One way to do it, check out your Social Security benefits. What can you expect? Remember that the longer you wait, if you wait till age 70, you're going to get a lot more. Step 4, use work retirement plans. If your employer offers one, contribute as much as you can and always enough to get any company matching money. And finally, take care of your health. Healthcare makes up a big portion of retiree expenses. Bottom line, whether you're a man or a woman, figuring out what you're going to need in retirement and then developing a plan to achieve it is going to make you feel a lot more comfortable as that retirement approaches. And I've got a lot more information that's going to help you get there. Just go to moneytalksnews.com and do a search for retirement. For Money Talks News, I'm Stacey Johnson.
Money Talks is brought to you by your local consumer credit counseling service. If you've got debt problems or just want some free budget counseling, call today.